Hello, it's Marek. Welcome to MDrives and welcome to another video. Today I'm testing this BMW i5 eDrive 40 and it's the base model of the electric BMW 5 Series, and I'm so intrigued to find out how this car feels on the road, because 5 Series is a very important model for BMW. It has been for last 51 years. So I think this is a key car for them to make sure they get it right. This isn't the first electric model from BMW. We had i3 and i8 available for over 10 years. And only in the last, 2-3 years, BMW started investing more in EVs like most of the manufacturers. And I would say their i4 seems to be quite a success because you can see a lot of them on the road. And I think that's thanks to a good range, comfortable cabin and nice looking car. But is this a good looking car? Well, the looks are very personal. You might hate it, you might love it. I think it's just very modern looking BMW 5 Series. Obviously, thanks to the more sleek and slimmer lights at the front and at the back, I think the car looks bigger than it really is. It looks massive, to be honest, because the proportions are different. So overall, I think it looks good, although I'm not the biggest fan. To be honest, I did like the last one more, but as with all modern BMW, very often you need to be around them for some time before you fully start appreciate the design. So maybe I just need a bit more time. At the front, BMW used more traditional grille than, for example, in a 3 and 4 Series M cars with the big grills. This one is more proportional, although I would appreciate for this trim to be in black. I think it would make it look slicker as well. This is an M Sport version, which means it does get M Sport bumpers front and back, a bit different wheels, and it just looks a tad more aggressive. You might not see all the black details here and here because of the color of the car, but if you have a car with a bit brighter exterior color, this would stand out more. I think overall it looks nice. Like I said, the lights are much smaller than in the previous version, which adds weight to the car. It looks bigger and heavier, but actually, it matches the overall design. With the M Sport package, you do get slightly different wheels, you get different bigger brakes, which I think are needed.
If you're familiar with latest BMW interiors, you will feel here at home. At the front of the driver, you will find familiar 2-screen setup, which looks very modern and sleek. Luckily, in this model, BMW gave us also eDrive controller, which you can use to navigate the menus. The controls on the steering wheel are still physical buttons, which is great. There is a light strip going around the cabin, changing colors together with changes to the modes, which looks pretty impressive. Overall, the cabin feels very airy. The boot is very spacious and you get some extra space under the boot floor. Now let's jump at the back.
As a driver, I like to sit quite far back, and usually my back of the seat goes back as well, and it's set to my liking, and I still have plenty of space for my knees here. Actually, I probably have about good 2.5 inches between my knee and the back of the seat. I do have to admit that sitting here feels very comfortable. I think the seats are well profiled, the leather feels nice and soft, and it's a very pleasant place to be in. Unfortunately, in this version there's no 4-zone climate control, so there is just an empty space here with 2 USB ports and some manual vents controls. Let's go for a drive. So when you press start, you get some funny noise and off you go. The car is ready. So, the car offers quite a good acceleration, as most of the electric cars these days. 6 seconds to 62 miles per hour. It's nothing impressive, but it's also quite rapid because of the instant torque. The car just flows on the road. I'm really impressed with how it behaves. However, obviously, you don't really get any feel from the steering wheel, but none of the cars today on the market offers that, because the systems, the electronics, need to be able to take over the steering wheel from you when required. So driving in a normal mode feels quite relaxing, but actually for cars like this, I find very often efficient modes to be the most suitable. It's so much calmer now. When accelerating, etc., the car feels extra smooth, and to be honest, I could see myself driving this car most of the time in this mode. And obviously that will also help to preserve the battery. And the battery in this car is quite good. I've got 94% of battery left, and it's showing me at 291 miles to the next charge, which is fantastic, and it's in line what BMW claims for this model, which is about 295 miles in the version with 19-inch wheels, or 275 for the model with 21-inch wheels. The ride feels so relaxing. I really like the accents around the car. Basically, it's a tech fest for your eyes. Honestly, you look around you and you can see all the lights, you can see massive screens around you, you have beautiful head-up display, which is very useful. Let's now switch to sport mode, because I want to try this car in a bit more energetic way. You get a lot of noise, much more noise through the speakers, and I think those were composed by famous music composer Hans Zimmer, which music I absolutely love. But in a car, do I want to hear this all the time? Well, I'm not so sure. I think in long term I would probably switch them off, and there is a silent mode in this car as well, and I think I might actually use it for now. So again, the colors change, and actually the digital display ahead of me now looks much more cleaner. At least 4 times now I've been on my local roads where the limit is 60, but the car thinks it's 40, and it starts bonging at me, which is annoying. It shouldn't be doing that. They should know exactly what the speed limit is. Unfortunately, that needs some work on BMW. Even in efficiency mode, this car feels rapid, and I actually do prefer that quietness element of it, rather than have some artificial sounds pumped into the cabin. But let me switch to sport and push it a bit. The sounds are funny. I'm not sure I would like to hear them all the time. The car takes all the bumps out perfectly. It feels completely smooth, but I know this road, it's not smooth, it's far from smooth. It's fast enough, believe me, it's fast enough, and yeah, it feels like the body weight is controlled really well. There isn't much roll, if any, and it's so comfortable. It's so smooth, this ride. Wow, even if you take corners at speed, the car manages it really well. I'm gonna try to stop now and see how is the acceleration from 0. I'm turning on boost in a sport mode, boom. And here's the 60. So here we go. It's not impressive from 0, no. I think it's just lax in the first 0 to 20 miles per hour. It felt actually quite weak. I'm not sure why, but then it accelerated past that. So now I'm doing 30, and if I push it to the floor now, that's where you feel the kick. It's weird. So they limited power below that 20 miles per hour, but then you get the full force after that. It feels almost unnatural for this car to drive so well. Right, I think it's enough of the silliness for now. Let's focus on the mode which I think majority of the drivers will choose for their daily commute. Because this is an electric car, I think the most used one will be an efficient. So let's switch to that. Suddenly the car becomes quiet. There's no more Hans Zimmer sounds, and it's so much more relaxing. What I can say about this mode, which I absolutely hate, is the additional graphics which you can see on your head-up display. BMW decided to add you additional graphics on top of your speed, which shows you the efficiency, and it's like a pointer, and it goes so high that actually it's in the middle of the lane. It's where my eyes usually are on the road, and it's just infuriating me, really. Whenever I'm on a straight road and I'm looking ahead, my eyes are drawn into that pointer, which is so annoying. Why do I need it there? I've got plenty of information of my efficiency here. Why do you need to add these graphics? Maybe this is something you can turn off, I don't know, but it is annoying. This brings me back to the comfort of this car. It's great. It's so good. The seats, these are the basic seats, but they have pretty much all electric controls you want in a car, apart from moving it forward and backwards, which is manual. But that doesn't concern me at all. The leather is nice. It's not the merino leather, which you have to pay additional £2,000 to get, but believe me, these seats are absolutely fine. The seats are quite wide, I would say, so I don't really feel that well supported. It actually feels like the seats were made for a much bigger person than I am in terms of how wide the torso and the bottom is. Yeah, it feels like I'm just sitting in the middle of the seat, but I'm not touching sides of the seat. It would be nice to be held by the seat a bit more. There are other modes which are weird, and I really don't understand why they put these modes, and it's a gimmick. It's another gimmick which BMW used because some people, techie people, might like to use it once or twice to show it to someone, and they will effectively never use it. If you go to expressive, it starts humming some kind of weird noises, like you're in a symphony. You can hear it all the time. How weird this is. So every time you accelerate or you brake, it increases the volume of it. It was all composed by Hans Zimmer, and you can feel it. It has such a movie vibe in it, that sound, which I kind of like. I could listen to it, but not in a car. Such a gimmick, honestly. Right, okay, let's go to the next one. Digital art. So this one doesn't actually make any noises as far as I can hear, but it puts really weird graphics on your screen and they change color. So I'm not sure if this meant to change together with how you drive. It says Quantum Garden 2022, a digital piece of art from artist Cao Fei. Why did they spend money on that? Right, next one. Relax. And suddenly you hear relaxing sounds. Right, let me slow down to kill some of that tire roll noise. And suddenly you feel like you're in a spa. Honestly, I like this type of sounds. They're not bad, but this is literally something you would hear in a spa. I don't know why would I want this in a car. I don't want to fall asleep unless it's for people who are fuming behind the wheels in the traffic and trying to vent all of their bad emotions. Maybe that's why they used it, but not for me, I'm afraid. Right, what else do we have? We have silent, which, yeah, it is what it is. It's silent, it's minimalistic. I like it. Probably my favorite. I would have to create my personal one, which probably would have most of elements of this one, with maybe some efficiency stuff in it. But yes, so these are all of our modes available in this car with the personal, obviously. And yeah, I think some of them is just a gimmick, something you don't really need. And yeah, I think it was waste of money when BMW programmed it in and spent money on making them. Back to efficient, let's preserve the range. Ooh. So the car thought I'm going to crash. No car, I know what I'm doing, but thank you for letting me know. In terms of this being 2024 car, obviously you do get all the bongs when you drive around and you go 1 mile over the speed limit, etc. So what you have to do every time you get into this car, you have to press this button and you have to turn off warning of speed limits, lane departure warning. Yes, see, it's dangerous doing this when you're driving. That's why I hate touchscreens. Lane departure, yes, deactivate. This is annoying. Iconic sounds. Okay, what's drive off support? No, thank you. So yeah, you need to do that every time you drive the car. It is what it is. You can't blame BMW for it. All the cars have to have it these days. But apart from that, the car feels really good. The car is a perfect daily. It's quiet, It's very comfortable. My family loves it. So yeah, I could live with this car, but I could not live with myself if I would have to spend 75 grand on it. So this is it. This was my review of BMW i5 eDrive 40. I really enjoyed the car, so I hope you enjoyed this review. Please make sure you give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you shortly in the next one. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. Do widzenia.